Hello everyone, welcome back to Hero Wars Guide. We got a very late game data update to contain Time of the Fearless, and we got one more event for next week. So I want to go over that schedule, and we'll spend some time looking at the next event. So as you can see on screen, we have Time of the Fearless. They did extend it for an extra day here due to the late start, so you should be able to complete the tasks as normal. However, we have immediately following the end of Time of the Fearless, one of my favorite events, Guardians of Outland. And Guardians of Outland will call for a couple of the same tasks, so you may not get an extra day in the same way because you will most likely want to hold off on anything that you would do under Time of the Fearless if it's going to get you up to the next milestone in Guardians of Outland. So specifically there we have energy, soul stones, and outland chests. Alright, I'm not going to look at the details of Time of the Fearless. We've all seen that a lot of times before, but let's take a minute to go over Guardians of Outland and see why I like this one so much. So we have here on the screen, this is the ROI calculator for Guardians of Outland, and first thing, all of the rewards that you're getting out of this event are almost exclusively skin stones and then outland coins, which you will hopefully translate into more skin stones. So that's about the best reward type that we're going to get out of any event. Skin stones are something that you will need far longer than most of the other resource types. Again, depending a little bit on where you've focused your spending. But most likely for most players, this is going to be one of the areas that you'll be farthest behind on unless you have taken great efforts to focus your spending on skinstone events and that sort of thing, or just outland chests directly. All right, but then you can also get a pretty good ROI in terms of just raw emerald value, all the way up to maxing out the event. You get 69% return if you complete every single part of it. So that's a pretty good rate of return for up to 50,000 emeralds at 69%. And then, again, keeping in mind that the reward type is very strong. So this is what it will look like if you max everything out entirely. But then let's take a look at where you're at coming in. So this is the free-to-play level just coming into the event. You get the 500 energy in the mail, and we're assuming an extra day out of this. So cutting possibly into both Time of the Fearless and whatever comes next. Hero Soul Stones I have maxed out. Hopefully you have some chests saved. This is one of the better events to spend them. This is a hard task to quantify because if you don't have those chests saved up, this could in reality be extremely expensive to complete. But if you do have them, then you get a nice chunk of skin stones here for finishing this one off. And then it will also contribute to your progress in the special event quests. And as you can see from the little spark line here, this task really is heavily weighted towards the last couple of milestones. So this one is kind of an all or nothing task. All right, but even if you don't spend any emeralds or extra energy on this, if you've got those Hero Soul Stones, you get a pretty nice return out of this, 13,000 worth of emerald, which is, again, mostly in the form of skin stones and outland. So let's take a little bit of time to talk about where we might spend. I'm going to pop open a few of these tasks in a little more detail. So you can see here spending emeralds has, your typical very high returns for some early milestones. Here at 1,500, you get over 100% return. And the surrounding milestones, pretty good numbers here as well, 75% for 1,000, 50% for 3,000. And then it does dip down here for most of the middle milestones. The solid middle of this event hovers around 20%, just over 20% return. And then it picks back up at the end for 47% at 40K and 72%. So really nice rate of return for finishing out this event at 50,000 emeralds. All right, and then spending energy is amazing level of return for the early spending milestones, but then really nice and strong really throughout. It does dip down a bit for the final milestone here at only 30%, but the 7,000 is a good chunk over 50 still. So this one's pretty strong. And then if you need this to get to that, if this does bump you over the edge for this special event quests, then that could very well be worth it as well. And then if we look at the Outland chest spending, this one is over 100% for the entire range of spending. Again, this is assuming you do get the 4th day out of it, but over 100% for all of your spending is fantastic. The rewards that you're getting out of that are more skin stones, so A+ there, and you will often see this around 50, maybe 75% for a lot of events. Some of the weaker ones will be 20 or 30% or something, but almost none of them will have over 100% return. So this is a big part of why I'm such a big fan of this event. All right, so let's take a look at where you can get for adding some spending to the free-to-play levels. Let's say we get up to 5,000 energy. You're going to be making some purchases for emeralds. You clear out the 100 every single day and then make some purchases at the 150 level. That's bumping up your spend emeralds a bit here automatically. This is assuming it's all with materials on hand during the event. That's getting you a little progress into this one as well, although not to where it matters. And then let's say you get most, or let's see how much it costs to get all the way through Outland. So you can see the cost here is going up. If you want to get all of the Outland chests done, which this is just about the best event to do it, this over 100% here, you can see to complete this thing out at 65. That'll cost you now, in conjunction with the energy we talked about, 9,000 emeralds to get here. And that means you're opening all of them at the 90 level and a few of the sets at 200. And that gets you, really kind of amazing ROI numbers here. But you're still not getting to the big returns on this task. You need to get up to this 61, and then really that gives you what you need to complete the others. Okay, so let's see what it takes to get there. If we bump up to the final spending energy tier, you've got to spend a lot more emeralds to get this one done. The ROI is not as good. You can see it was 97 at 7,000. It drops down considerably to get this one done. I may add some more options to this tool here to better handle these really high energy costs. It's assuming right now that you do all the additional purchases with those buying bottled energy, but obviously you can only do so many of those in an event, so I might need to rework that a little bit, but this is still a reasonable approximation. You will have spent about 16,000 to get here, but it's still not going to get you these last milestones in the special event quests. You do have a really nice ROI at a little over 100% if you spend to this level. If you round up to the next spending emeralds, you drop down to 100%. You still don't get this final thing done here at the bottom. But good ROI. This is probably 20,000. That's if you're not spending a lot of money on the game, this is still a high spend level of event, but you do get a very nice ROI. And then let's just take a look at what it takes to complete the thing. Okay, so with another 10,000, you can see that does auto-complete this final task down here for us. Your ROI is at 75%, so it's worthwhile to do. If you are a big spender in the game, this is still one of the best events to do it. You get a really nice bump in rewards out of that. From a strict ROI percentage perspective, it's not quite as good as if you had stopped earlier, but it's still better than most events. And then to finish this thing out, really you probably don't want to go to this 40 unless you're also going to the 50 because the rewards were a little bit better here at the very end. All right, so hopefully that's a reasonably quick but thorough look at the potential rewards out of this event. I am now most of the way done getting this thing ready to put live to the world. My freelance project is done. I've got some of the legal junk dropped in here. So really it's down to figuring out hosting now, which is a bit of an unknown to me, but I'll be looking at that in the coming days. All right, so I hope this helped you prepare, I hope to make this thing public for you all to get in and tinker around with directly, which you'll no doubt find even more useful than watching me do it. All right, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next time.